So last night, Gavin Newsom debated Ron DeSantis, and I watched the whole thing and I really enjoyed it. I feel like this is the debate that America has needed to see for some time because it kind of took us away from the whole Biden versus Trump angle for a while, and it gave us two governors with opposing viewpoints sparring over their ideas. And it was done on Fox News with Sean Hannity as the moderator. So DeSantis definitely had the home field advantage, but I feel like he still got his ass handed to him. I can't imagine that DeSantis would have ever agreed to have went on MSNBC and allowed Rachel Maddow to be the moderator. I can't imagine that happening. Had that happened today, all we would be hearing is about how Rachel Maddow and MSNBC and the evil radical left just all ganged up on poor DeSantis. But despite having the home field advantage, I still think that DeSantis lost that debate. And it kind of gave me hope for the future because it made me realize that, you know what, we do have voices that can rise up once Joe Biden is finished and can take the reins. And what are they going to say about Gavin Newsom? They can't say he stutters. They can't say he has dementia. They can't say he trips and falls down. They can't say he can't complete a sentence because last night, not only did he complete sentences, but he absolutely dominated. He is a great speaker, a great debater, and I don't know why Ron DeSantis or Sean Hannity or Fox News thought that this would be a good idea. The fact that Gavin Newsom could go on that platform and debate the way he did, I think he's someone that we really, and I mean, we've had our eyes on him for a long time, but I'm saying that's someone that we should be watching and getting excited about because he could really help take the Democratic Party and take progressive and liberal ideas into the future. I loved how he came out, talking about how that DeSantis was wanting to take us back to a pre 1960s America. I loved how he really went at him and was like, I'm tired of seeing you demonize people. I'm tired of seeing you talk down to people you disagree with. And I loved it when he said the only thing you and I have in common is neither of us is going to be the nominee for our party. The thing about DeSantis is he's just odd. And I would say that no matter what side of the political aisle he's on. There's been plenty of times in the past that I've watched Democratic debates and I've been like, yeah, that Joe Lieberman dude's kind of odd. It's like, it wouldn't matter to me really which side of the aisle that DeSantis is on. He's just odd. He's got a bunch of really weird facial expressions. It's like he doesn't know how to smile. It's like he doesn't know how to be himself. I just really feel like that Ron DeSantis, he knows how to spew his propaganda. He knows how to divide people. He's a master at that. But it's like he doesn't know how to just be comfortable in his own skin. I almost feel bad for the guy because he's just like that really awkward dude at a job interview. Once this is all over, he could definitely get a job on Saturday Night Live just being the awkward guy in scenes and just being the awkward guy that just reacts to shit. But they started talking about Bidenomics, and DeSantis decided to flex. He thought it would be a big flex if he went, yeah, you support Bidenomics. I'm glad you brought that up. You support that. And Gavin Newsom's like, yeah, he created 14 million new jobs. 10 times more than the last three Republican presidents combined. 850,000 manufacturing jobs, 3.9% unemployment, the lowest black unemployment, lowest unemployment for women and Hispanics, lowest black poverty rates. And then he pointed out how that Florida had received $28 million from the CHIPS and Science Act. So he just hands it right back to DeSantis. And that's what we need more of on the Democratic side of the aisle. People have said for a long time, and they're right in a lot of ways, that the Democrats suck at messaging. And I see content creators on places like YouTube and TikTok making more sense than I do some people who are leading in the Democratic Party because they don't get their points across and they don't take the win. A lot of times when Democrats have the win, they don't take it. And I'm like, you took it. I mean, there is times that, like, if Donald Trump had have accomplished the things that Gavin Newsom just mentioned, if Donald Trump had done those things, Republicans would be demanding that he be put on Mount Rushmore. Hell, they already are. They take the win when they get it. And a lot of times liberals will sit back, and when they take the win, they'll try to go, okay, and they'll go a different direction with it, or they just won't lean in and say, yeah, we did that. And so it was great to see Gavin Newsom say, yeah, we did that. It was also great to see him call bullshit when they talked about things like the border and crime. Those are two big Republican boogeymen that, they love to throw at us all the time and say that we're weak on those things. And Gavin Newsom came out and said, I want a secure border. I don't want an open border. He comes out and lays it out. We just want a more humane approach. He pointed out how that, DeSantis took the immigrants to Martha's Vineyard, how he lied to them, how he used them as stage props in a political theater, you know. And he told him, he said, he said, here you are. He said, you're trying to out-Trump Trump, but you're down 41 points in your own state. I just loved how he called bullshit on their boogeymen. When they got into talking about crime, he pointed out, they always love to say Democratic ran cities, Democratic ran cities. Gavin Newsom points out that 7 out of the top 10 most dangerous states with the highest crime rates is red states. He pointed to Jacksonville, to Orlando, and to Tampa. He pointed to the Parkland shooting. He talked about how DeSantis made it easier for felons to get guns after the Parkland shooting. He talked about how that, Republicans love to be the back the blue crowd, but yet they support the insurrectionists and want them to be pardoned. I just loved how that Gavin Newsom just gave it back to him. It was so good to see a liberal finally stand up and just really give it back to them and do so on their own home turf. And I'm not sitting here saying that they were mean to him, because I could easily say that I feel like that Hannity threw some softballs at DeSantis, but at the end of the day, I don't think it mattered. I don't think it mattered how Hannity tried to go about that. I think Gavin Newsom is that good of a debater that it would not have mattered if he'd have had 3 Republicans, if he'd have had Hannity, Tucker Carlson, and Alex Jones sitting there. I still think that Gavin Newsom would have come out ahead, because he's just that good, and that should give us hope on the progressive, the Democrat, liberal, whatever you want to call us. I know we all use different labels from time to time because we're not in a cult, so we don't all just put on the same red hat and walk forward. But it was a good debate, and I'm glad to see it. And like I said, it just kind of got us away from Biden versus Trump for a minute and kind of gave us a peek as to what the future might be like. And so if I were conservative or if I were Republican, I think I would be looking long game here. I think I would be looking ahead, because I'm looking ahead. I'm thinking, okay, Joe Biden has 4 more years. Okay, once he's done, we have to have somebody who can step forward and lead on the Democratic side of the parties. Now, you guys are in the same scenario. I know you don't realize this, and I know Donald Trump doesn't intend to ever leave if he gets back in, and I know Donald Trump doesn't support the Constitution, but Donald Trump is really only supposed to serve 1 more term. So 4 more years, and he's supposed to be done. So you should be looking past Donald Trump and looking at your future. And if your future is Ron DeSantis and our future is Gavin Newsom, yeah, you guys are up shit creek without a paddle.